with XT, and today we are talking with David. Thank you so much for joining me today. So just to give everybody an intro on your build, you have a 2018 JKU, you have 17x9 Mammoth Boulder matte black wheels, you have 35x12.5 Nitto Terra Grappler G2 all-terrain tires, and then you have a rough country 2.5-inch lift kit. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose this setup?
We had a 2016 two-door Wrangler, and that was black, and we had black on black, so we like the black wheels, and we like that spoke assembly. It just looks a lot nicer against the rhino blue color.
And then, do you do any off-roading with your setup, or do you mainly keep it on the street?
No, we take it sometimes off-road. Like right now I'm on vacation up here in the mountains. So we have a couple places up here we can run it, and up across our North Mountain and everything. Just to break it in and work out the suspension a little bit and see how it performs.
And does that look like fire trails, or is it a little bit rockier?
It's rockier, it's muddy. They're really unpaved roads that aren't very well maintained. And a lot of them have on their travel at your own risk. We love it. We usually bring it back pretty muddy.
All right, so let's get a little bit into your wheels. So you have the, again, 17x9-inch Mammoth Boulder matte black wheels. Why did you choose this wheel? I know you mentioned that you chose black because you like that black on black look, but why did you choose the 5-spoke over something like a mesh wheel or a cutout?
Like I said, one thing is my wife does a lot of the pick and choose of what we put on there, so she's a big inspiration to a lot of this. But because like I said, I like that look of the 5-spoke instead of something that's real compact, you know, more or less with those wheels that just show the holes going all the way around. It pops, they stick out. That's the biggest reason I chose those. But it's just an overall nice looking wheel. My sister-in-law has them also on her Jeep.
Sharing the love on the nice wheels.
Yes, a lot.
And why did you choose a 17x9? Was there a particular reason you chose that size?
The original size on the Jeep was 17s, and when we first bought the wheels, we didn't have the lift kit or anything like that. So we stayed with the 17-inch because if we would have went with an 18 or anything bigger, it would have rubbed on the inside. That's why we stuck with the 17s.
So getting a little bit more into the tires, you have the 35x12.5 Nitto Terra Grappler G2 all-terrain tires. Why did you choose this tire?
I did a little research on the tires, and the Nitto Grapplers, they seem to have a much better feel on the road, and I think this is the next generation that just came out. Like I said, did a lot of reviews with it, and everybody said they're comfortable on your Jeep when you ride, even though you still get the off-road effect. You won't get the loud noise. It's just a much better, comfortable ride, and I have to agree with it. If I ever had to buy another set again, I'd definitely go with those same tires. Being that we put that lift on there and that we wanted to go a little bit bigger, and the 35s was not the max I can fit in there right now. So that's why we kind of upped them from the 33s that we had before.
So why did you choose an all-terrain then?
I said you still got the little bit of aggressive ride, but it's a daily driver for my wife. It needs to be comfortable for her too.
And then you talked a little bit about how you chose the 35 because you were putting on that 2.5-inch lift. Is there any reason why you didn't go with a different size?
I was going to end up rubbing on the inside is what was going to happen. Now, I figured I was pushing my limits if I went with a 37. After you do the measurement and the math, you can see every time you're going to hit a bump, you're going to be hitting those inner fenders.
And then when you upgraded to the 35, did it feel a little bit sluggish, or did you have to recalibrate or regear or do anything to accommodate for the bigger size?
No, I haven't had any issues with that. I mean, that was something that was brought up to me. You might need to recalibrate the speedometer. You might need to, re-gear. Is it a little sluggish? Yes, it is a little sluggish. You're turning a lot more tire, but it's not that sluggish that I can't pull out if I have to in a hurry.
All right, well that kind of wraps it up for tires. Let's get into your suspension. So you have the Rough Country 2.5-inch lift kit. Why did you choose this lift in particular?
The gentleman that helped me install that lift was the one that really recommended. He said it might be a much better ride for you. And at the time we only had like the leveling kit on it, and we wanted to get a little higher, 2.5, 3 inches. So we shopped around, looked at everything, and like I said, the gentleman helped me. He said you can't go wrong with the Rough Country. He said you'll get a much better ride. The shocks are really well put together. So that's how I ended up installing that lift on that Jeep.
And then why did you choose 2.5 inches in comparison to like a 3 or sticking with a 2-inch?
We have 6 granddaughters. So what happens is you get a little too high, you can't get them into the back of the Jeep. So my wife and I just kind of figured, let's stay at the 2.5, 3 inch. If we go any higher, we ain't gonna be able to get them up into the car seat. Plus we're getting older too, I mean, so You got to stretch a little further.
And it sounds like 2.5 inches is a great size to fit with those 35s, considering that you're not having any rubbing or any interference in the wheel well.
No, not at all. Like I said, it's a good lift. The wheels, the tires, everything fits underneath there. No rub whatsoever.
You talked a little bit about how the ride was comfortable. How does it feel compared to stock?
Much different. I mean, you buy that and drive it off the lot. There's a big difference compared to now bringing up 2.5 inches, putting a little wider tire on, a little higher tire. Like I said, you're not looking for a Cadillac, and we like that rough ride. We want the feel of, when we're out there going through the woods and that, I feel the bump, I feel this, I don't want that smooth ride. I just like the overall aggressiveness.
And then on that note, how does it handle off-road?
Very well. I have no problems with it at all. Like I said, you take your time. It grips the road really good. It stays where it belongs. We also have the quick disconnects if we need to, give it the independent suspension depending upon what we're into. If we take it down onto the beach or anything like that, I mean, we just leave it connected. We get out here into the woods, then, depending upon what you're going to crawl over, I need that flexibility. But it handles very well off-road. I have no issues with it whatsoever.
Sounds like everything is working out very well.
So far, so good, yes.
Good to hear. You talked a lot about how you love the way the Jeep looks and how the combination is put together. Would you change anything, or would you do anything different?
I might change it a little bit, maybe go to a little higher on the lift, maybe a little bit bigger tire. Yes, I would definitely probably change it. Like I said, I like the look I have now, but there's always room for improvement, let's put it that way. You're never done with it.
But it sounds like everything is working out. You made a little bit of compromise for the kids to get into the back, but it's still performing well off-road. And with the wheels and tires, I think that everything is very well put together. So I just want to kind of recap on your build. Again, you have a 2018 JK Unlimited. You have the 17 by 9 inch Mammoth Boulder matte black wheels. You have the 35 by 12.5 Nitto Terra Grappler G2 all-terrain tires, and then the rough country 2.5 inch lift. Thanks again, and for more things Jeep, always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.